Good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's study session. So we've been working on range construction for the last little while. Today, we're going to do range construction, cutoff versus small blind. Last week, we played from the small blind, and we noticed a couple of things. Small blind does a lot more calling than check raising because of its kind of condensed range and its predictability around suited middle card hands. Um, so we'll see what things look like today for the cutoff, playing against an opponent who's going to be filled with suited middle card hands. So we'll do a little bit of work. I'm sure we're going to get three bet a lot too, because all the offsuit side is going to three bet us. But from here, let's take a peek, see where we go. Oops. Yeah. There we go. All right. King 8 offsuit seems spicy. Are we going to open this?
Somebody? Anybody?
Anybody? Ryan, you
Sure.
going?
Sure.
Yeah, I think this is like the cuspy.
King seven is the cusp, but I do king eight,
All
right?
right. So yeah, if we think of our range construction, right, we're going to be
Eight, five, nine.
suited
Oh, sorry.
sixes, right, and offsuit nines, and so our best offsuit eights are going to be in there. So it's going to raise. It's going to fold. If you're folding this, that's fine. If you're raising this, I like it. And we get flatted. And we get a rainbow disconnected king high board. Do we want to bet?
1.3.
Really? So small? Okay.
We might get some checks here because we really don't need protection on this
Oh, it's
very
a
dry
small
board.
blind. Sorry. Small blind called. I missed
If
that.
if this is the worst king that we open, do we consider putting this in our check back range?
Yeah, I think this checks high
Yeah.
freak.
I think this is going to mix. I actually think it's going to probably pick like king nine. King eight's going to have some straight interaction stuff that it's going to want to bet, but I think king nine's going to check a lot here. But let's take a peek. We can definitely see there's some checking, lots of small betting. So we're doing pretty good. When we look at our range construction,
So I noticed you just said you like to bet your weakest or check your weakest kings. Okay. I've never knew that. That makes a lot of
yeah.
sense.
So you always protect having a few top pairs by kind of checking your weakest ones. And so you can see like king two, king three are checking back here at pretty high frequency. King five, king six are
Okay.
checking back at pretty high frequency, with king four and king seven being two pair. And then on the offsuit side, our just worst king, king eight, it checks back a lot. Although I would
I'm
have
gonna
thought the king eight would have bet a little more, but yeah.
Hey, Peter, can we look at ranges? I'm curious. He has a range advantage on this board.
So
We
it
do.
is
It's pretty close.
cut off has a slight range advantage, right? We have the best hands because we have these ones, but our problem is we have a little more trash than our opponent,
Yeah.
right?
Thanks, man.
So kind of ratio wise, it's pretty even. We have more best hands, but we have more trash as well. And then pretty good slew of mid cards here, right? Represented by the sevens and all these kings. So pretty good range spot. Oops. So yeah, but the idea here, when we're thinking about betting a spot like this, an easy idea is if this is the worst king that we open, this is the king. And like for me, I would actually check king nine a little more than king eight, but it checks king eight here a lot too. Because the eight interacts with the straight, it has a little more potential, I think, than the king nine does. Right? So if we look at strategy plus EV, yeah, you can see king eight actually makes a little more than king nine does because it interacts with the straight. But yeah, just remember to protect your range by finding some checks with a king. Some people never check top pair. And when you never check top pair, you become very easy to play against on the turn because if you check, your range is really weak. So yeah, never check king queen here and king jack less and king 10 less and so on and so forth. But we give it a bet and we get a call. All right, turn. Jack. Good for in position. Don't have a spade.
I wonder if we get to bet this a similar size again.
Okay.
So I wonder if we ever B20 again.
33 or 55 is what I would do, but I make a ton of mistakes.
We all do.
I
Or
think
83.
I'm really looking at these two here. So part of the idea, remember, our opponent's range construction is gonna fit with lots of cards between the jack and the seven, right? So our opponent has like 10-9, 9-8. They've got 10 jack here. They've got queen 10 here. Our opponent has lots of stuff to continue with. So I think it's going to be a lot of this and some of this. But if we're going to check a hand, I mean, king eight's a pretty reasonable check. It's our worst offsuit king. High frequency check. Low frequency, get after it. So the idea here is that the king and the jack are both good for us and both interact with our opponent's range. So we want to be doing some sizing up here. Take a look at range construction.
I just figured out what I do wrong a lot. Like I check. So what my thought of and the way I've been playing is I always protect my checking range when I'm out of position. And then in position, I'm always going for it.
Yeah. That's a good metric, right? You play defense from out of position and offense from in position. Right? And we can see again, king queen uses the bigger size a lot. King jack starts to use a smaller size. King 10 uses a smaller size. King 9, smaller size in checking. King 8, pretty much pure checking back.
Interesting.
And so you'll notice like the size that it wants to go, we chose this size, the 5.5 chips, which is what it does with king 8. But that's the smallest size it uses. It wants to go 83 or 125 here with better kings than we have. And like now we can see king 2, king 3, king 5, king 6, king 8, all checking almost pure here.
We want to really make sure he's folding a 7 when we're bluffing. And put his jack in a tough spot.
Uh-oh.
Ah,
Here we are, top pair, middle kicker. Are we getting stacked for 40 big blinds?
I'm not.
You're out?
Yeah, I am, but I don't know. This is the things. Yeah, I'm gone.
But I mean, what are you afraid of? Like Jack 7?
Too scared. I play so scared sometimes. It depends who it's against though too, but yeah, I'm gone. see?
Ah.
So,
So it's acknowledging it's calling, but it's not printing a lot of chips here.
He's got a lot of bluffs here though, right?
Well, yeah, like our opponent's range is filled up with cards that connect in here,
Yeah, exactly.
right? Our opponent has some flush draws, some straight draws, some combo draws. Oh boy.
Call.
Now that we improved to 2-pair, we beat some value, like king queen, we cooler kings and sevens, kings and fours, jacks and sevens.
Yeah, I'm with Dean here. I'm snapping.
Easy
Yeah.
call.
Easy call. We're 4 chips. We're doing much better because we've recoolered a lot of his 2-pair stuff here.
Hmm.
Pocket threes. This is a pretty creative bluff. Pretty
that's Louis
narrow.
Philippe right there.
But again, like we heard, Cheat saying, as soon as I get check raised here, I'm cowering with my king. So if you play a GTO opponent, they're going to show up with this type of stuff. It's going to be a tough spot.
Lesson learned. That's why I'm here.
But also why we check the flop with top pair occasionally, because it induces this kind
Also,
of bananas.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That
Instead,
just opened my eyes though, guys, a lot. Like, there's things that I do sometimes and I'm just like, look back and I'm like, okay, this all makes sense now.
all right. Versus a 3-bet here. Remember, this is going to be lots of off-suited garbage. Well, lots of off-suited broadways.
I think
Are we going to fold this?
this is the bottom of our defending range, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I can get behind. Ooh.
Yeah.
I probably
Seems about
overfold
right.
ace 10 off, but yeah, I mean, we're probably supposed to call, yeah. But point
Pretty
6,
cuspy.
I mean, it's pretty cuspy.
Yeah,
I would
this
say
is
it's
where you.
okay to fold this in game against the right opponent because population is gonna lack the proper amount of bluffs to value.
This
Yeah.
is a good spot to take a look and see if you have any HUD statistics and see this guy. If this opponent is raising 4%, this is a snap fold. If you see like Louis Philippe in here, you got to defend this.
Pete,
Right?
can we ever turn an ace 10 into a 4-bet bluff?
Ooh, let's take a peek at the range construction. See what it says. It's gonna pick some aces, but I'm probably gonna bet the 4-bet bluffs are gonna come from the suited aces, which when they get called are gonna play better post flop.
Oh, yeah.
But let's take a peek. Small blind, so back to the cutoff here.
I'm just wondering if it's weak
Yeah.
enough to bluff.
Yeah,
No,
so
okay,
these,
call. Yeah.
so yeah, these 4 just run equity, and then this is where the bluffs come from because they can make a wheel,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Okay.
So, but good peek. All right, 3-bet pot, very dangerous spot. Did our opponent check?
Yep.
All right. Queen 9-5 with a flush draw. So, can't think of a reason to bet here. We have marginal ace high. I don't think we're going to get better to fold. I don't think he's going to fold ace jack or ace king if we just open up a bet here.
Green.
So it is choosing betting a fair amount, but checking is also just fine. Let's take a look at the entire construction here. Backdoor straight, get out of here. Al the animal wants to go for the backdoor straight. Yeah. It's like these aces don't get better to fold here. These aces get better to fold. Right? So and they can turn the wheel as well. So you're gonna when you bet ace deuce, you're gonna barrel if it's a 3 or a 4, right? So bluffing from the bottom, not from the top. Is this just a give up?
I mean, well,
We
You're
don't.
getting a good price.
yeah, like,
Yeah, but I mean, we're not good very often here, right? Like we're losing to better aces. And I mean, worse stuff has better interaction with this board than we have. So
we do.
we got
Yeah.
team knit.
Yeah, it's probably fold.
Ooh,
Little
just
bit of calling.
look at that sick raise. I have a gut shot jack. I don't care what you says. All right. Oh, look at that 3-bet ace 8. Spicy. Hope you guys find that in game. Okay, well, I'm with GTO Wizard here. All right, raise up this jack 7. All right, so with the idea that we are opening suited 6s and offsuit 9s, what are we folding here against the 3-bets?
Oh, well, this is a fold.
Jack 7 suited.
Sure,
Do you want to know our full range that we fold?
just an idea. Are we folding all our suited 6s and suited 7s?
Yeah, and then I
Except
think
maybe
we
ace
mix
7.
with our suited 8x.
Okay.
Our bluffs come
Maybe.
from like the wheel draws.
Yeah.
I think we trap aces and kings. And then we shove like
That's
ace, king,
four.
ace, queen.
Sure. So yeah, so we're folding our 6s, 7s, and mixing with 8s, right? But primarily folding. Folding our 9s and 10s, mixing a little bit with some jacks, and then defending our suited aces. That's where our 3-bets, our 4-bets come from. Right, so if we look still here, we still have board coverage across all textures here with our suited connectors and our suited aces. So we can still like be represented on flops like 6-6-4 because we have king 6 and 7-6, right? And you know, stuff like that. So we have a little bit of board coverage for all these type of spots. After I describe why we're going to fold this.
Yeah,
hand.
you said fold.
All right, very nice. Ace 6. I mean, can we really open this? You bet we can.
It mixes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
so
hate
general
that
rule,
ace.
ace deuce on the button, ace 5 on the cutoff, ace 10 on all the other positions. Makes life easy. Right? You can splash around with some ace 9 and stuff like that there, but oh, ace 6. Bottom of range, easy fold. Savage 3-bet with ace 8 again. All right, 76 trombones. Ooh, suited connector. It's gonna weather the storm.
Oh, yeah.
It's not happy about it, but it's in there. Again, if your opponent is only 3-betting 4%, it's gonna struggle to realize its equity.
Oh, I love these spots. Oh,
Easy
where'd
call.
half my stack go? Oh, you know, I
Where'd half
peeled a
my-
3-bet with 7 high and called a flop c-bet. Come on, Bink. Yeah, no, goodbye chips.
Wow, I mean, this is the brickiest of bricks. Right?
No,
Not a lot
come
of
on.
strength with two barrels though. 3-bet, c-bet, and turn bet.
Okay. So
I'm
think
You're
with
just
Danny,
playing
I
devil's
ran.
advocate, right, Peter?
I ran.
like our opponent's not barreling a 9 or a 7 very often.
I
So it's kind of-
suppose, like at this point, what do we need? Like 20% equity? Like a 7 or 6 might be good. So this might be just an odds call. Oh, but we
Yes.
no, we don't have enough though to draw. We've only got 5 outs. That's not enough. So
But what about all the times we're ahead?
wow, I mean, this is pretty aggro with ace queen.
Peter, you're scaring me.
I mean,
I mean, like, come on, Daddy, we're ahead.
yeah.
Look at that.
Oh,
Never
wow.
folds.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
suck.
so that's why this
Wow.
is the brickiest of bricks, right? Our opponent's gonna shut down with a lot of 9s, and they're never gonna double barrel a 7. So our opponent has a king and a lot of incomplete draws,
Alright.
right? Or, I mean, they still have pocket aces, pocket queens, king, queen. They still have lots of value hands here, too. But let's take a look at their
I mean,
range here and see what
clearly
this.
I'm way wrong cuz it's 2.2 EV.
Yeah.
This is what I'm here for, right? Like,
Yeah, this is a good spot,
alright.
right? So we can see our opponent's only checking 27% of range, right? And they're giving up with pocket sixes. They're giving up with some sevens. They're still betting. Well, king seven's two pair. They're giving up with some 9s, right? They have ace eight and ace 7. They're giving up. But our opponent's just barreling a lot of stuff here because they have all these value kings and value hands here that have to keep betting. So our opponent's like when this deuce of hearts comes, it's the brickiest of bricks. We got to continue.
Time for some Fifth Street chicken. Oh, boy. So the thing is, the reason I usually fold, or maybe always,
Huh?
is like even when we're ahead, we need to fade rivers and we don't know which rivers they are. So like basically anything above a 9, he can jam and we're just in a gross spot.
Exactly.
But I guess that's only like a third of the deck,
Yeah, so like 7,
half the
6,
deck.
5,
Oh, that's a
4,
lot.
3, 2 are all really easy river calls, right?
Yeah, sure.
And even an 8's not that bad, right? It only really completes 9, 10, or 10 jack. So,
Right.
oh
Although
my
10
god,
jack would make a lot of sense. Wow, we just call anyway. Okay.
10 jack, catch him bluffing.
Hmm.
And yeah, so again, a tough spot. Are you finding a 3-bet and triple barrel here with this hand?
That's just it, Pete. I think like from the small blinds perspective, I get that Jack 10 is in range, but
Mhm.
I've never seen anyone. Well, maybe because they're just always getting away with it.
Oh
People
yeah,
overfold rivers,
you
right?
never
Like,
see this because you never call a person down. But I'll tell you this, like if I'm ever out there streaming, like I'm bluffing like a maniac, right? So it's gonna be tough.
I think
All
the
right,
Jack 10 is perfectly reasonable, but our opponents are mainly just not gonna 3-bet that.
right, yeah, exactly. And then barrel 3 streets.
Once you
Yep.
get that board, it's a good barrel off. It's pretty natural. Double
yeah, which is
better.
which is why it's good for us to look at this on both sides of the coin, and why we did small blinds last week. We're doing cutoff this week because then you can kind of put together the strategy of how are you going to attack these boards, because you see how many mistakes we're making just by being put in difficult spots. Like here, queen 6 3-bet fold, right? King 10. When I pulled up my database, I was doing some database work with a guy this afternoon, with Al this afternoon, and I was looking at how often my small blind 3-bet works. So it measures it on Poker Tracker 4. 42% of the time when I 3-bet, they fold.
Works a lot.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
so just all your offsuit broadways, just let them loose. Is it up? Oh, king 3. That's pretty down there. Alright. Pocket kings, it's very nice. Alright. Ace, king, six with a flush draw.
This is the
Well.
range, hey, because we got nothing. 2.2.
So, two Broadway cards here. Our opponent doesn't have sets, doesn't have two pairs here very much. Right? Is this a big bet board?
Yeah, maybe. Oh, maybe it's
Yeah.
3.6.
Do we wanna go with this hand? Maybe. We're just bluffing
this hand
everything here.
Well, we can't
Benefits
give up.
from
I think
This
we
hand
get more
benefits
big
from
bets if it's
fold
rainbow, but,
equity.
but we do have a component of big bet here.
We're also against small blind, not big blind. That
That
changes
makes
it.
sense. Oh, I'm gonna nail this. I was studying something similar yesterday, so let's try it. Cause
Let's go for it.
I've been too passive during the versus the small blind, and I realized, wow, that's a fucking leak in my game. I have so many leaks. Poker is so fucking amazing. But
Nothing
that was
better than
under
when
the
this is-
gun.
I'm with you, Viv.
That was under
Good,
the
Pete.
gun versus the small blind. This is cut off versus small blind.
So here we can see, like on ace with a king board, two of these ace, king, queen boards, we see a lot more of the darker color polarization. And then when we go to king, queen boards, again, we see this element of darker polarization on these boards. And it's because the small blind's range is so heavily composed of jack to six. Right, so when we look
Makes
at
sense.
this, they are three betting so much of this stuff that their range gets narrowed down to this, kind of jack through seven area. And so on two cards from ace, king, queen, it's a lot more polarized betting for us.
We look at ranges again real quick just to see who
Sure.
has. So I think you're right. I think we have extensive range advantage here. And
Yeah.
also it's a good way to look at how, condensed their ranges.
52, and it's ace, king, and queen, all the best stuff. No ace, king, no ace, queen, no aces, kings, queens. So this board is going to be a hard board for the small blind to defend. So, all right. So bigger bets are definitely a thing, but they defend. Top card pairs. Our opponent has called one street against a polarized bet.
So I think
Is
the ace is
this-
good because it reduces their combination of aces, so I think we polarize. And we also polarize on a double flush
Mhm.
draw board.
So 11 or 7?
We could probably do 7.6.
I think either's fine. Yeah, I think I would go for the bigger side.
How are we constructing our bluffs here? Are we just bluffing from the bottom up? Check back some equity? Go
Well,
really
this is
polar?
from, yeah, like we're definitely gonna have a lot of checkbacks here, but this is a hand that can't realize any equity on the river.
Right, like, I agree this makes sense to bluff, and then bluff bricks. This
Yeah,
is like the
we're-
stone bottom, I don't think we have a worse hand, maybe 7-8, right?
Yeah, like 97 of hearts or spades might check back here. Just try and
Right.
realize equity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with that, alright,
But
I like it.
And also
Okay,
he's stripped of
uh,
his very best aces because,
Mhm.
we saw he three bets a lot.
no checking back. 100% blast.
Bluffing with our nothing.
Look at him call our polarized bet with, well, I guess he had the queen of spades.
Well, we didn't play the river though.
He folded.
We folded.
Oh,
Okay, okay, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
good
we
bet.
blast turn, he folded.
Yeah, okay.
Ooh, Jack 9 off. Are we really flagging this?
Oh, yeah.
Could we actually see what the river strategy would
Sure.
be like on that river? That's an
Oh,
interesting one.
hold on.
Queen of hearts.
So I don't know this, but it seems intuitive from being here for the last months, being here, being the Monday nights, for several months, that river heart is bad for us to continue the story.
Yeah,
Like-
and also we had a filtering sizing on turn. I think we
Yeah.
do a lot of give ups.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
just like we can't win unless we bet, but it feels like we're just lighting chips on fire if we do bet. Like
Yeah,
we've kind of put ourselves in a bad spot on the river.
Yeah, like 9, 7, 5, 4, and 5, 7. These are the worst hands that we get here with, so they all are going for it.
But do we still go for it on the Queen of Hearts on the river? Like it seems like one of the worst cards in the deck. Except
So let's take
like Queen of Spades, Jack of Spades.
small blind checks 100% the range. And cut off 17% check.
Okay.
And it gives up with the spades, the front door flush.
Oh, but jam. Oh no, sorry.
Yeah,
What's got the highest EV though? Oh, sorry. Duh, it's gonna be all in because that's what it's recommending to do.
Yep.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, and the bluff is definitely a positive score here. Right, like it's really bad when we hold the spades because that's what bricked. So we want our opponent to have spades. So when
Right.
we have clubs and diamonds, it's more likely that our opponent has spades.
Yeah.
And slightly less likely that they have hearts because there's one more heart out there, particularly the Queen of Hearts, because that's a heart that's going to be like when we take a look at their hearts that are going to call here, when we blast that turn, right? Like they're not here with very much. And so when the ace, king, and queen of hearts are out here, they almost have no flushes. Right? Because their range is so condensed by our double blast on the ace high board that they've got queen 6 of hearts.
That's a
Right?
good
They
point.
don't have any other
Well, they
queens
don't.
here.
Well, they
Right?
don't
Because
have
queen
Queen
6 of hearts calls the flop with the 6.
Yeah, and they can have Queen of Hearts because Queen of Hearts on the board.
Yeah, like eight again, they have 8, 6 of hearts, 7, 6 of hearts, and 6, 5 of hearts, and queen 6 of hearts. But when that queen of hearts comes, it's why we are just blasting range because they don't have any heart flushes and they've got bricked spades. So yeah, neat one. All right, so we give this one a little raise. Yeah, that call. Monotone board. I was telling someone earlier today, monotone boards, paired boards, you just bet really small, really frequently. But this is a little bit different.
Yeah, I think it's bad for us. There's an 8 and a 6 there with the small blind flat.
And it unblocks like the ace high and the king high flush that they have a lot here. Like remember, the small blinds flat is all suited aces, suited kings, and suited middle-ish. And that's all out here, right? Queen 10 of spades is here, king 5 of spades, ace 7 of spades. This is not quite so good as normal. Against any other position, I would be inclined to bet 1.3 a lot. I'm gonna guess it's gonna check like 30% of the time here. But as a default, I'm always betting this size. But yeah, 28% checks. All right. The flush completing and the board pairing are usually bad things on monotone boards. Because our opponent continues with any pair and any spade, and some flushes. So even though we have 2 overs and a gutter, and this is a disrespectful size, I mean, I'm gonna call, but wouldn't surprise me if
What?
this folds.
Oh, I'm just not folding.
Snap.
Yeah. I didn't like betting on the flop, but
All right. All right. Team Knit's right. It's time to fold this stuff. But I mean, look at this disrespectful size. I mean, how can
I
you?
mean,
How
it's
can
the
you?
bottom of our range. It's okay. You can have this
Oh,
spot. Damn, we have 2
simple.
overs.
Yeah. So let's take a look because this isn't the most intuitive thing, but when the top card pairs and it's represented highly in your range, you do get to lead. And so a small blind lead here, we can see half their range is leading. Any pair, right? Particularly right, when you don't have a spade, likes to lead. Overs when you have a big spade, like to lead. But that also allows you to lead all your flushes here, right? So king 9 of spades just gets to start putting some chips in the pot because the cutoff is probably going to check back, right? If this opponent checks, the cutoff strategy checks back half the time here, right? So it's going to be a spot where it's going to be a good lead from the small blind. Those are hard to find.
Huh.
But also why I was itching to call with Jack high. All right. Easy. Easy raise. All right. So, ooh, our opponent is going to struggle on this board. Low, low. It'd be hard for our opponent to call. They're going to have a lot of flush draws to call. They're going to have some straight draws at the top end here. Some combo draws. How big do we want to bet with our best 8?
Do we ever size up for protection?
Absolutely.
I was thinking 5-5, but
130? Or is that too much?
Little too much.
yeah, 5.5.
Yeah, I can see some 365. I can see some 5-5 here.
There's just, I don't know. I'm thinking like this is different. That's top pair, but it's top, and there's lots of turn cards that can change the board texture quite a bit, which we don't like. So again, like anything 9+ is not great for us. So yeah, I'm thinking 83% pot.
Okay. I could get behind that. Is it better to bet 83% with pocket 9s or with ace 8 here?
9s,
Why?
because we got an ace.
Well, the
If
nines
we
have
tried
very
the
good
other way.
blocker properties to 9-8.
Yeah,
So I don't know if we need protection as much with 9-9.
We can hit an
Exactly.
ace without it though, right?
So I like
the
betting
9s,
bigger with
nines?
pocket 9s, which are
Yeah.
just as vulnerable a hand, but they unblock your opponent calling with an 8. Like here, when we bet, it's just going to be hard for our opponent to call with an 8 because there's just less 8s out there. They're going to be calling with straight draws and flush draws. And so I think that's going to make it mix these two sizes. If we had pocket 9s unblocking all the 8s that they would be calling, I could actually see it creeping into this category.
That's when they do the 130, right? Okay.
Yeah, like here we go. A lot of 55%, but definitely a little bit of this here too. Let's take a look and see if nines are going bigger. Yeah. Disrespectful. All right. So ace eight as all these sizes, right? A little bit of the really big stuff. Pocket nines does have the darkest size when it contains a spade. So, yeah, pocket nines are just as vulnerable and unblock your opponent having an ace. And like ace eight is more resilient because if an ace comes as an overcard, it's not dangerous. But for nines, if an ace comes as an overcard, it's very dangerous. So pocket nines need a little more protection than pocket eights. But all of them, nines, tens, and jacks, are all betting pretty big here. Oh boy. All right. We used the big size and got clicked check raised.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, you should have less check raises to this sizing, but we obviously can't fold.
I agree.
We
You
can't
and I
fold.
call. Might as
Yeah,
well send it.
I'm okay to send it on. Yeah, because he's got lots of combo draws there.
Yep.
I mean, we're blocking 8-8. We're not blocking deuce 6-6, but 6-6 a 3-bet? Was that a call? I can't remember. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
mean, it's two combos, right? Like 6-6-6-6.
Yeah. So I'm ready to send it.
All right. So here's the idea. What card is good for us on the river that's not an ace or an eight? Right? 3 completes the 45 straight, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. Like all of those are bad. And then everything else is an overcard. And then there's a pile of spades in the deck that are bad for us.
Like also
So,
does the small blind get to check raise with a lot of their range against our range, like forcing us to fold a lot of ace highs, king highs?
well, we used a polar sizing. We used really big size, right? So we're either representing the top of our value range or the bottom of our bluff range. Right? So we would use this with like we would use this sizing with
Jack 10.
45 of clubs here, right?
Yeah.
He's gonna use this type of sizing too. And like his click back when we have 45 of clubs here, it's just a fold. But
yeah,
I am just stuffing the turkey.
I
Right?
think if we have 45 of clubs, we have to call his click.
Yeah. Do we call his click on 45 of clubs? I gotta take a peek at that. I'm out of there. Double belly. So he gives it the click. What do we do with 45 of clubs? Oh, okay, we only have 45 of spades. So
The
it
other
goes
one's
back.
bet smaller.
Yeah, they don't take that polarized size, I guess. So yeah, none of them take that polarized size.
Why are we all red tonight? I gotta ask.
That is a great question. We will be addressing that with the overlords who control all the goods.
Very good.
I don't know. I think GTO Wizard has some type of technical malfeasance that's messing with my jib. Queen 4. Is everyone finding a Queen 4 open here? And is everyone finding the Queen 4 fold? I hope so. King 7 suited. What a savage 3-bet. Who taught this small blind how to 3-bet?
Well, he 3-bet barrel 3 streets with Jack 10, so, I mean,
Hey, I got a question that our cutoff, it's supposed to be queen five suited though, right? Is that what it is?
I guess queen
Raise
four
first
slips in.
in? But it is queen five, isn't it?
So it's suited sixes, and that's going to give you some extra cards around the best suited cards. So like
Yeah.
it's going to bring you all the way down to ace deuce. It's going to bring you to like king three. It's going to bring you to the queen four, right? And then it's going to jump up to like jack six. All the rest of your sixes are going to get in there, and then like maybe your 57 is going to slip in there a little bit, but generally.
Okay. Yeah.
And memorizing your range perfectly is going to be tough because like sometimes you're going to be at 36 blinds and you're like, oh, do I use my 30 big blind range or my 40? And having some fluidity in your idea is good here. And then also, like when you're thinking about, do I open the bottom of my range? If you look over here and you see a three bet of 3% and a 3-bet of 5%,
You're
these
good.
guys aren't betting enough. Just open everything.
Okay.
Right? Because the bottom of your range playing in position is going to recognize its value better when there's a low 3-bet from the remaining spots.
Got it.
So, oh, goodness. All queen eight. Wow. Like a super genius. Look at this disrespectful bet. Is there anything to do but call?
Just call.
I don't think so. Just,
No,
no.
Just click. All right, let's take a peek at the
Wow.
range. See if we found some type of unicorn anomaly, because I
spade,
gotta admit,
no
I'm just
Broadway.
clicking. 59% call. So it wants to click with a queen. It wants to click with these dirty bottom pairs. It's clicking some backdoor flush draws and front door flush draws that don't interact with folding the bottom of range. So don't have like a 10 or a jack here. So yeah. Look at all these bluffs.
Fun.
Yeah, I mean, easy to find your raises here, hard to find your bluffs. And because of that, because it's hard for me to find bluffs here, I'm having a hard time finding raises with these.
Show this to Louis. He was advocating for me to flat with fours in a spot like this. And in my head,
Okay.
I'm like, I can't call fours here because I'm not gonna play it well. Like, I know you're supposed to find wild bluffs. Like this one I would never find.
Yeah, all right. We're gonna. I guess I screenshot that. Okay. Save that for Louis.
Yeah. I wanna caption it like, oh, is this why you wanted me to call fours?
Nice. All right, so we give it the click. Oh my goodness, that board looks so scary and our opponent checks. 0.8.
What would we do if we had a bluff?
Oh my goodness. We're gonna have to take a
There's
look.
no way I'm just running it with fours again here on the king. There's no way.
Well, it's all the stuff that you clicked on the turn. So you're in here with like suited connectors and small pairs and queens. And yeah, like here it is. Open up the guns because here comes the pocket fours. Yeah, like primarily not going all in though.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to punt all your chips quite yet, but I mean,
Only half.
heck. Oh brother. Call. Wow. I mean, calls and folds river. It's just a naked king and a gutter. Wow. Savage.
Damn.
That wasn't the best
Alright.
turn action though. Like if we jam turn, he's probably folding there, hey? Well, actually,
Yeah.
maybe not. Like king to gut shot. But
Yeah, maybe.
But
We got the max, I think.
yeah, like we were like our range was primarily betting the non all in on the turn. Right? So when we look at the turn action,
Oh, I think
46%, right? It's only jamming
Oh,
5%.
sorry, I misread that.
Yeah, so
Our
the
hand is one
non-all-ins-
of the ones that most enjoys jamming though.
yeah. Yeah, it
A
fits
jack
into
10.
the oh yeah. Having a jack or a 10 is still bad here. We want our opponent to have a jack or a 10.
Wait, no, Pete, the river is out. Didn't it look like, and I
Yeah.
apologize everyone if I'm misreading this, but I thought the turn action, it suggested all in.
Nope, this is the turn node right here. So here's the king turn,
Yeah,
and then like here's the river.
but it says the cutoff action after the turn is all in 57% of the time.
No, that's the percentage of the pot.
Oh, sorry. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what okay. Yeah,
No problem.
makes sense because those three things don't add to 100. So okay, I'm gonna mute my mic now.
No worries, no worries. It's
All
good. It's all
good, all
learning.
good.
But look at this continuation on the river. Pocket fours. If you don't have the spade, you just blast it. Right? You really want your opponent to have spades here. Yeah, 5-4 of hearts, just blast it. All right. Ooh, spicy. Is this a fold or a raise?
Zero EV raise.
Zero EV raise. Look at their 3-bet percentage. Oh boy. Queen A3 with a flush draw. Third pair.
We might get some
Check.
checking here.
Might get like 80% checks here.
Big
Yeah.
check guy.
Big check guy. 55% check. Okay. I admit, like I don't know if I'm ever betting this combo. Check is well represented. All right.
I think we call with an over to the board.
We
Yeah, you can
also
still have a lot of draws.
yeah, we unblock all the air between the queen and the 8. So like our opponents
Yeah.
here with Jack 10, 10, 9,
6, 7.
8, 9, 9, 7, 6, 7. So gonna be a pretty easy call.
Bink.
All right. Here we have about
Max time bank at bet 150.
ooh, spicy. I like it.
Yeah, I think you get, we're gonna get a number of sizes here because there's no straight and no flush, so. We get, yeah, we're gonna get a bunch of
I
different
just
choices.
wanna
We
go
have
like
like 90% equity.
Is anyone going all in?
That's a
How
little
are
too
we,
greedy.
how are we getting called?
Yeah, we're getting same with kings full.
Well, do we have many bluffs that go this 3x pot?
Maybe.
Because like the straight bricked, the flush bricked, like we have tons of incomplete draws here. We're definitely gonna have some big sizing draws.
I think whoever said we're getting a lot of sizes, I would agree. You can
Right.
probably jam, you can probably 150, you can probably go as small as 7.
100%
What?
jam. Look how many brick draws there
Damn.
are.
Alright.
Yeah,
And the
how are
other
we
thing
getting
is,
called though? Like,
well, let's take a look.
yeah,
What is our opponent calling this with?
With a king.
with a king.
folds a
Yeah.
queen.
A king with no spades and no. Probably like king four suited or something.
So our opponent calls all the kings.
Yeah. King four is the highest EV single pair king.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they call ace eight and queen eight two pair. Yeah, they don't call very often, but when they do, we get 3x their pot. And that's the value here. Right? They only call 20% of the time, but when we do, we get so much value that it makes up for the fact that we couldn't go with a smaller bet.
can you put
So
the
let's take a
range
look at
weight for a sec
yeah.
too?
our range here. Oh, look at that. 12% of our range is jamming.
Damn, and then the rest 7 and 10 mainly.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of, 80, 90% pot, and then some really polar components. All our fives are jamming. And so then let's take a look at what our bluffs are going to be here. So it's going to be this block of no made hands. So 7-6. So all the open-endeds that bricked jam. 97 jams. 96 jams. So this idea here of this tree of sevens and sixes is just jamming.
I suppose I get it now that 3x pot allows us to have more jam bluffs so that we can do this kind of thing more often. Like
Yeah.
that does make sense. That we now
Can
get
you
to have
go,
more hands to do this, but
can you go range weight for a sec?
Sure.
Just like toggle it.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Really good. Right. Add in our range trips. This is what it looks like. We're here a lot with 97, 96, and 75. 76. Both ace fives. Yeah, it's good.
Cool.
Dean's got a good
Good.
question in the chat here. Like,
If that's our jamming range, why are they calling with queen eight? Queen eight was two pair. Right? So
but they lose to any king. And
no, but they
five, of course,
they
but-
cooler any queen. Right? So they were calling with all of their kings, and the only queen they call with is the queen that beats us when we have ace queen.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, but we don't jam queens.
They also then block both sets that we have. They're blocking sets of queens and sets of eights, which become full houses and also probably take this size.
I'd like to ask Pete and the group if it's okay to postulate like exploits or if we should just solely focus on GTO.
I think it makes sense to talk about exploitative folds and
It's okay, but
Yep.
don't, we shouldn't spend that much time on it. Cause it's
Okay.
somewhat speculative.
But my only comment was it's hard for a person to put, like, let's say in a tournament, to put their tournament life on the line with like with just queen jack or a lot of these kings. So that's my initial thinking with 150. They can call off 16, still be in the tournament, still have 20 chips. But we get to max out. It just feels like we're forcing all the best hands to fold. I just don't know if someone's going to call off the tournament life. The computer will, but yeah, that's the only thing I want to mention there.
Well, if that's the case, if they are not going to call with a king, then you should just 3x pot every hand that isn't a king or a five.
Oh, well, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that's the counter argument to that exploit is if they're gonna fold a king here to a 3x pot, like every bluff that you don't get there with, just jam river.
Why?
And
that's
then
why we
once
jam
you've
with,
done
like,
it to them twice as a bluff, they might call you the next time.
right. Okay.
Right? And like that's that element of playing like a shy smile type of player, right? Who's just gonna blast and blast and blast. Right? You just gotta call with a king and call with a king and call with a king and hold on. Yeah. It's always good to talk about the idea of exploits, but the fundamental basis of GTO strategy is the middle ground from where we're allowed to deviate. And when an opponent is too tight and is able to fold all these kings, instead of just bluffing those sevens and sixes, which is the bottom end, you should also start bluffing the jacks and tens, which is the top end of the straight here, right? If they're going to fold a king. Conversely, if your opponent is never going to fold a queen in this spot, well, you shouldn't be 3x potting with 76 because they're just a calling station. Right? And so the idea of how your opponent is going to play post flop is going to change how you approach your GTO game. But understanding where the middle ground is the basis for being able to construct logical deviations. So yeah, we get an easy raise with king 7. And so yeah, I always welcome it in group when people have an idea like that. Ooh, king 7. Guy's got an 11% 3-bet. Are we calling here?
Yes.
All right.
Uh,
2.01. Cuspy. Let's go.
call if you wanna be berated all day about it.
Easy, easy.
Yeah, we just
Please
missed
give it
and we
to-
fold.
All right. Easy fold. This was bottom of range, so when we miss this bad, it's just time to get out. All right. Well, I was getting itchy trigger fingers there.
I know, I was ready.
Oh my goodness. King Jack 10 with the flush draw.
And the straight draw.
And the straight draw. And made straights, flop straights. Like,
Yeah, so because there's locked up equity, I think we size down
okay, yeah.
to like a B33.
Okay.
That's what I would tend to do in game.
And also we can call a check raise, so.
Anyone could go 20% pot here.
Larry, would you call check raise all in?
Yeah, I think we do call with an over. I think we do call check raise all in with this.
Yeah, gutter flush draw combo. Like we're gonna like if the guy shows you kings and jacks, you still have like 35% equity here.
Yeah,
Right?
we're
If you
gonna
get check jammed on.
we get the price to call.
So yeah. Just
Wow.
betting all the
I was
sizes.
gonna suggest 55 as well, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I think it chose 55 because of the RNG, right? So.
Yeah.
The double
Well,
check
they were
is
both
correlated to
represented.
the RNG number.
I think the 3-bet is supposed to choose that middle size, the 55 size. It's not like, you know.
All right. Oh, do we double barrel this hand?
No.
No.
Yeah, I think we can.
Got some no's, got some yays.
But if we double barrel, we obviously gonna polarize.
I wanna say yes.
I'm pretty sure we do.
But what if he check raises us? Then what do we do?
Well,
Well,
I'm having it all in.
Call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Is this a rare spot where we don't polarize? Like think of it this way. Like we have sets of kings, jacks, tens. Right? We have ace queen and our opponent does not. And we're holding the ace of spades. Like I'm wondering if this is gonna go small.
80%.
I think
Alright.
I'll go small.
Checks.
Yeah,
But
there's some
80%
checks, okay.
also. Calls.
Oh,
Alright,
All
Mr.
right.
80%.
the jig is up. I
Yeah.
waved my white flag.
So
Alright,
we have a lot of give ups here. We have all the cards we want them to have. And they just called it B80.
Yeah. Hopefully they show us quick. Oh, okay.
queen. Oh,
Yeah.
queen jack off.
Yeah.
Oof. All the B80 on that turn with second pair open ended. Gross.
I think betting big the flop and then like checking the turn a lot on a brick is a fine way to go about it. Just see if you get there, cuz we're not gonna bluff river regardless.
Oof.
Don't necessarily
make-
need to just jam the, like, big bet the turn, I mean.
Better make sure your opponent's 3-betting, 10, 11% before you kind of wade into the waters with a call here. Have a lot of bluffs. King 9-4 on a 3-bet pot.
10%.
I think we check. Because we, also I think solver properly checks its 3-bet checking range.
King
I
high
think we
boards
wanna
and
bet
3-bet pots lead a lot.
So if we bet here, are we betting for value or are we betting as a bluff?
It's kinda mergy. We'll figure that out later.
Wait, never mind. I know in position, it goes small, small with the bottom pair a lot because you can fold out like 6s and 7s. I wonder if it does it in position, maybe not, but I think it still bets here because like, what the fuck are you, really, bro? Come
I wanted to
on.
bet
Really?
10%.
I mean, I guess it makes sense for in position and then we can still, we don't have any, I don't know, this game sucks. I think on a rainbow board it being big bets. No,
Oh,
we're calling at least
This
once.
game
You
sucks.
have to defend, guys.
Oh,
Oh, when
Oh
the
my
flush
gosh.
comes.
Yeah, this guy is full of shit. And now we're
Oh,
gonna hit the
wow.
4. We knew that we were hitting the
Now,
4.
now I'm sick.
I'm gonna just,
Alright.
we can go all in if you feel like it, but calling is not bad either, so.
We're never
We
going
can do
to
whatever we want.
This is the one card in the deck that you were praying for. How can you
I'm
not go all in?
fine,
What?
fine.
No. Oh my goodness.
You know what? I just got flusher flushed in live poker 2 Saturdays ago, and I'm sad about it. So
Yeah,
deal
We
with
all
it.
deal
literally-
with the PTSD on occasion.
You literally won out of the field here, right?
Good.
With the perfect 4.
Actually, yeah, you go all in. Don't be a nit.
Don't be a nit. Lose
Alright.
your chip.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it-
I called that I'm still in the tournament. That's all there you go. I called I'm still in.
Alright. Ryan's still got 9 big blinds and specializing in the upcoming session on short stack play.
There you go.
Me
One
in
more
the
for Team
chat
Net.
raging that
Honestly,
they gave the
short
guy a
stack
1-outer
is
to
actually
stack me.
pretty good.
He hit a 1-outer to take all my chips.
Alright.
So yeah, we're a little
we
too deep to
call.
shove, so we just call, I think.
Oh,
Alright, we'll give her one more.
I'm
damn it.
folding
What
here
is
in
this
game.
crap?
Like, I'm folding here a lot in pre-flop in game.
I think we call sometimes when it's a paired board.
Gives us the 50% size.
Oh, yeah. I feel indifferent, but I'm gonna call. Oh my god, fold.
Nope.
Yeah.
I lost a quarter of a chip.
Let's take a peek here.
I
Alright,
think the
so
big
Jack-
size just makes us want to fold.
So his
Y'all are
draws that
sticky
take
with your
this side
pair.
are gonna be all
I
like
feel like
queen
I'm
10.
probably, it's hard to know. Like, I feel like it's hard to know in these spots when to defend and when
Just
not.
fold pre. It's make your life easy.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
you can, but like the times where you bink it and the times where like they
But
bet
that's the thing,
smaller,
you
they
don't
check.
have odds. You don't have odds to set mine. You have to like know how to play well on these crazy strategies. It's like, it's impossible with these underpairs.
Well, that's
So
what we come
again,
to learn
can't do
from,
it.
Yeah.
Sensei Peter.
Yeah, our opponent here is just so filled with hands that contain 2 overs here or have straight draws and flush draws or trips. Like he's just range betting us here. Right? When we take a look at this swap, and we look at the range construction, 55 to 44. This is about as bad as it gets.
I mean, I sometimes like will fold, especially out of position, the fives. Like, I know you're not supposed to, but like a lot of charts, especially on the 30 big line and 25 big line charts, it says like, yeah, you need to be calling fives to a 3-bet, and it's like, this is some bullshit. I don't want to, so I will actually fold them.
Yeah.
But not
It's
cut off
just-
versus small blind, I don't think.
Oh, I'm gonna outplay this guy. Meanwhile, he has aces.
Just as aces. Alright,
I have seen a lot of stacks given you.
I don't think I'm
It's
shoving.
not a jam for there in that spot, but there are lots of spots where you just rip fives, especially out of position from the blinds. Like that, it helps my game a lot.
Yeah,
Like just
those
rip
are
that
good.
shit. Because you don't
Alright.
wanna be calling out of
Small?
position.
can we give
Trap?
a free
Do we
card?
ever
Range,
trap?
range bet. I
Yeah, I
learned
think,
this.
well,
Well, it's
maybe
range
we
bet
don't
from
wanna
the gun. I
trap.
don't know if I'm cut off, but rainbow king high to 10 high to king high boards.
Hmm?
I'm gonna range bet.
Okay, so we looked at it earlier. Remember, king 8 is gonna be like it's the bottom king that we open, so it's gonna be the one that checks the most. Now, does it check when it's 2-pair?
I wanna put money in the pot.
I mean, there's value to checking because we're blocking all their continues and
Exactly. Yeah.
it's hard to find a draw. I mean, this is a very dry board, so there's no obvious draws. So I think I don't know if solver does, but I think I would check here almost pure.
I like small bet. I think
I
all
like
the,
small bet.
all the stuff that they can stab on the turn should be floating a small bet anyway.
I think that the small bet though is gonna be this size. I think it's gonna check about 40% and small bet about 60% here. Nope, it's polarizing. It's just never checking. Alright,
They
this
wanna
is
get
very
raised
strange.
by king, queen.
See, I did remember that the size was bigger versus the small one. And you do go bigger on rainbow boards.
Yeah, but this locked up equity, like with top 2-pair, yeah, it's just never checking it, but
Yeah, I think that this is an obvious deviation. I mean, it's
Strong
such a
but
dry board.
vulnerable.
It's hard for her to have any continues, which we are also blocking.
yeah.
But
and we see
every one
this-
of their kings has outs to cooler us, basically. We wanna get money in now.
we see the behavior that we saw before, right? So king queen betting pure, king 9 checking the most, and then it just checks more as it gets lower and lower and lower here,
That makes sense.
right?
Oh, so it's not a
So
range bet. I'm an idiot.
yeah,
So from the
idea,
cutoff, this is a much different spot than under the gun versus small blind. And the gun versus small blind is a range bet. Cutoff versus small blind, you gotta play smart.
well,
Oh
the
my
cutoff has a lot more trash than the under the gun player does.
Poker is
Right.
so crazy, right?
Yeah,
The
it's
Also,
value
not-
small
here
blind's loading more
from-
stuff.
We wanna get the most money in against king jack. While the board is still like, good.
Yeah, you're right, but we're blocking king jack. There's
Yeah,
only 2 kings
but
left.
then. If they have 9-10, like, maybe they hit us with the spicy check raise anyway.
Spicy
Whereas
check.
if we go like check and they turn nothing, they'll just give up anyway.
Well, that's why I wanted to bet the 1.3 size.
So
Like I
is
just
this
wanted
where we're
them to
checking
find
now?
a check
Or if
raise.
is the ace Q, king queen 5 just really good? I think we can check. Like if you follow that pattern.
Yeah,
Mhm.
check a lot.
Checked a lot, a little bit of polar betting, not
Yeah.
much. Checking back, protect our range with our worst king, and this is what we induce.
Call him. We're
Snap,
calling.
snap, snap.
Actually, I
Double
wanna,
flush draw.
let's just call him. There.
Just call them.
Okay.
99.7% of the time we call. You gotta really
Mhm.
randomize for that 0.3%.
Okay.
Just kidding, I think it's solver noise.
Very good.
Call
Let's
again.
have a spade here.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, I think we call blocking spit, blocking the flush.
Yeah, we've set ourselves up with a very easy line with top pair, bottom kicker.
Oh, you know, I was studying yesterday again for some reason, and I learned that like not all bluff catchers are created equal. Like they tried to rumor this, like, oh, all bluffs are 0 EV. It's like, no, actually they're not. Some bluff catchers are way better EV than others. So yeah, it does matter. This is a, it's not
Yep.
even a bluff catcher, but it kind of is, but it isn't.
Yeah, this is a good example of why we want to have some checks with our top pair in range, right? If we'd have bet flop, maybe we get a call and we get 2 chips and then he folds turn, or maybe he just folds flop and we get nothing. But now we got 9 chips with a hand that's just very easy to call turn and river with. And we just keep getting king 8 here. Playing
Love
this
that
little
hand.
sliver.
Maybe
So
they're just testing it.
maybe they're just testing us, making sure that we're gonna fold to a 3-bet.
Making sure we won't forget to open
Aces.
it in our games.
Alright, Jack 10. Let's go. Rebets. What are we gonna
Screw
do?
this
Stuff
guy.
it?
I call.
Yeah, this is a your call.
Just a call.
Oh my God,
Oh,
really?
you're in trouble
I
now.
don't even like it. I just call. We're just gonna go broke here. I mean, it's poker. Like, I'm
Do we ever
sorry.
jam it?
Time to die.
No, I don't think so.
I suppose
marginal.
if you want to, but I don't think you're not super excited about jamming it like you are like ace jack, king jack.
Yeah. It
Oh,
does.
we do.
What?
I mean,
You're
it
right.
makes sense.
Oh
There
my
is
goodness.
Louis Philippe would say.
It's the no good turn card theorem.
Louis
Yeah,
Philippe would
okay.
say like, hey, you're in a 3-bet pot, you flop a pair and now die.
Yeah. Yeah. And the idea is that like it doesn't it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to realize your equity on lots of turns here.
Maybe I
So-
don't I feel like I do misplay 3-bet pots, especially like, okay, so we're in position, it doesn't make sense to jam, but like this hand does need a lot of protection in a way.
You kinda just
So
wanna like
king,
make sure
queen,
you're
jack,
getting it in
king,
while
queen, and
it's
ace.
still fine.
So I guess are we more likely to jam the jacks?
Yeah.
And the queens here? The queens jam too, right? If I have queens, am I jamming?
Yeah, I would assume so.
Oh, and then like
Yeah.
Cole with kings and aces. Well, no, if I have
Yeah.
queens, I'm 4-betting pre, and if I have kings and aces, I'm probably 4-betting
No,
pre.
you definitely have traps here. In position.
Yep.
You'll have
With
traps
aces,
here.
for
So I
sure.
can trap with like kings and aces rather than
Yeah, even queens might trap some. And then when you have it, you jam flop probably.
yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Alright, so
Um,
ace 6-5. Do we see bet this flop? Ace low.
No.
No.
Yes.
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 I love it.
I kinda
Actually,
wanna size up here
Yes,
too.
because we have like a direct over to the 6 and 5. Like we need a lot of protection with our 7s, so I think it does see bet. It's not a
Like,
range
can we
see
bet
bet, but I
55
think
here?
betting here makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I do like betting. Well, I think it bets bigger on like ace, like 2 Broadway, like ace Broadway than ace 6-5. Maybe it's opposite.
I am
But-
gonna be betting small here a lot.
Actually, I
right?
do
Our
like
opponent
betting
has a lot
bigger.
to do. But
No, medium.
Oh no, I'm going
It
crazy.
it can do whatever it wants. Check. There's merits to checking.
Yep.
But the best bet is the 33%. But there's merits to checking. So it's sort of
Let's-
like, I like it.
yeah, let's take a look as a whole. Because like when you bet really small, you can get value when your opponent has like a 6 here. So how many 6s does our opponent have? Ace 6, king 6, 7 6, 6 5, 8 6. They have a little bit. Not very many. Not very many 5s. So it's
I think
hard to get
that's a
value.
good point. Yeah.
2s, 3s, 4s. Like when you bet big, you're just gonna isolate them to better hands.
I'm still too
Right.
used to playing against big blind.
Well, and that's why we need to do some study work on like the cutoff spot, right? Like it's just a different animal. Like you play it differently against the small blind than you do against the big blind.
Yeah.
Tough spots. Goes for a c-bet, gets called. Yeah, like the other thing too, we saw last week we did the small blind. Like the big blind, you're used to defending a lot by check raising. The small blind defends a lot by calling. Right? Which is a different animal than we're
I
used
mean,
to.
it makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of boards that there's a lot of times the ranges are they don't the small blind's
up.
actually a stronger range a lot of times, but they're like
This is a hard class.
You ever get the feeling you're being milked?
We
No,
block
I
7,
think that
8.
he has 6-10 of hearts.
So do we go for value with a little raise?
No, what is
No, not value, but we could try to bluff.
It's just
Alright.
100%. Oh, it
Yeah.
is indifferent. You can fold here. It says, yeah, we're getting milked by.
Milked. Welcome to the milk bar, everyone.
I was ready to make it 8 in his face.
I was ready to make it 8 too.
I don't see how that's fundamentally sound. Raise.
Ooh, king 6. Can we fold this?
No, actually, we're
Yeah.
not gonna fold it. We're
called
gonna
king seven,
defend our
but-
bitch.
I think this is a
Wasn't
call.
King 7 was 0.01, right?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
But oh, 4. So
I remember we were like, someone was like,
We might have
hey,
too much
Ken, when do
backdoor
we
equity to
start
fold here.
opening king 8 suited? And they're like, I'll open king 8 suited every position.
It's pretty dirty though.
ooh,
And I'm not
It
folding to
is
3-bet
barbecue.
Yeah,
easy.
just get out.
No, this doesn't make any
It's
sense
like an
to
Omaha
call.
hand.
Come
It's
on.
very
Low of
limited.
SPR.
If you're gonna call this, don't call this pre-flop if you are gonna play that bad. Learn to play poker.
Wow.
Whoa.
Feel pretty strongly about that too.
Yeah, just reviewing another hand in the hand histories. People
Alright,
like
get
in my
out.
other groups, and I'm like, man, why did you defend this? Well, I had a backdoor flush and a backdoor straight.
Maybe if you need a side job, Viv, you can get some help writing report cards for children.
Now you
That's some
Ooh.
office
My
work.
report cards were always so bad. I have very bad ADHD and it sucks when you're an adult. Okay? It sucks.
But it sure helps you with sick burns. All right.
That's true. I mean, poker is reasonable for really good for me. Okay.
right, so-
Shit,
So
it's a low board.
I think we benefit from
Bomb
protection here a little
him.
bit, and we can call a check raise.
I think
Do
we
we-
do bet bigger.
55.
Nobody has advantage here. Actually, we have the overpair advantage. We didn't get 3-bet pre-flop. So yeah, I
Do we
think
cons-
with rainbow board, I
Beater
want to bet
speed.
big.
Do we consider putting this into our check back range with the idea that we would want to bet 7-8 and 7-9 and 7-ace and 7-king more than 7-jack?
I was about to say I check it this time sometime.
Yeah, it's pretty marginal with the kicker. I don't think we like getting check raised, but I don't think we're that scared of turn cards.
I'd
I
rather
like
check
the
ace
idea.
7 or king 7 though, because then when the ace comes, bam.
All right.
We could.
Jack might come too. See, I check
Oh,
it.
okay.
I like the
But I
idea.
said
I
that
think we should
bigger.
do it with clubs.
Ah, there you go. Jack 7 of clubs, highest check back frequency, says Danny. Let's
And
take
then, yeah, maybe some other kickers too.
Mm, all right.
Jack
Lowest
7 of
check back
hearts?
frequency.
Oh.
Yeah.
Never
Jack
do.
7 of hearts.
So primarily betting, right? Like the motion is to bet this hand. And the motion is to bet all these 7s. Yeah, if you do look, like it's protecting its range with like this 7 and this 7. right? Are the only
Yeah.
2 sevens it's really doing it with. So we have the right idea. If you're gonna protect your range with the top pair, it's gonna be 8-7 or Jack-7. Okay, right idea. Just not really a thing here very much. Okay, let's do one more. Up at the top of the eye. King 10. A crawl. Oh, lovely. Monotone board. Now, what did we see about monotone boards earlier?
That's small.
They're often and small.
But often and small, but not 100%.
I think this makes a
When-
good check. Maybe I suck though.
The
Yeah,
more high
I'm the same. I check
more
here.
high cards, the better it is. Right? So this blocks the type of stuff they're gonna have a flush draw with, but still the ace and the king are out here.
Check.
Check a lot. That's a
Cause we have
lit-
we just have a perfect checking hand.
Yeah, we do. Well, when the flush completes or the board pairs, that is terrible because our opponent defends all spades and all pairs. So, check 97%. Yep.
Okay. Well, I play the board.
Oh, we have a flush.
But that's why we gotta bet.
I have
So-
a nine. I have
I don't think there's
I
bluffs
have all
here.
these
I think we just
offsuit
check.
nines.
Huh?
I seriously have the 9 of spades. I have king 9 of spades.
I
I
like
have
bluffing
king of heart
here.
9 of spades.
What
Let's do
spade
it.
did they have that they checked?
Exactly.
What they
So-
don't like they bet the 9 of spades, they bet jack of spades, they bet
They might trap the 9 of spades some.
So are we putting this in the big bet bucket? Are we pulling up the pants and going pretty deep here?
well, I mean not that big.
Just
I'm-
8.
I'm scared. I was gonna bet like 92%. Like I'll do a pot size bet on something like that.
Alright,
I
No,
have-
it doesn't
Yeah,
like
so we
it.
I
check
have the
because
worst.
the
It's not
potouts get
terrible.
really weird when you are dealing with chop pots. So the value of bluffing is less because it's chop pot.
I mean, we free roll ourselves by
Right.
betting, I guess. Does it split anything?
Yeah.